at the end of last week, we walked through the MAGA right-wing civil war that's going on. You have Candace Owens versus Turning Point USA. You have Tim Pool against Turning Point. You have Milo for Turning Point, but good with Tim. You have George Santos for Turning Point. You got Benny Johnson being accused of being gay by Milo, who's a right-wing influencer. And it's getting out of control. You now have Benny and his wife threatening to sue Milo Yiannopoulos for what he said on Tim Pool's show. Let's listen.
One of the most distinctive things about the right wing in this country is its homosexual overtones. Benny Johnson posts pictures of his children every 2 days. It's weird. And everybody knows what went on with Benny Johnson in those lobbies and in those hotel rooms at SAS. Everybody knows.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Men. Younger men, not underage. At least I don't know that. His wife was crying drunk in the lobby 3 SASs in a row about how her husband was upstairs with boys.
So Milo Yiannopoulos is a liar. Benny Johnson is a liar. George Santos is a liar. Tim Pool lies a lot. So this is just giving you an update on what's going on in their world. Don't trust anything of everything they're going to throw at each other, okay? But I don't know why it's crumbling so much. I don't know why there's so much infighting, but he said that. I do have to say, as I've already argued, the right does this a lot, where they go, I don't like this person, so maybe they're gay, right? And it's because they use it derogatorily. Now, Milo is gay, but he says he's ex-gay, but it still is used in that derogatory way. One thing that this is reminding me of again that I've been talking about lately, especially on the bonus show, is that you have increasingly liberals doing it too. Like accusing all the prominent Republicans they don't like of, it's the reason they're so crazy is because they're tormented by not coming to terms with who they are sexually. And sometimes I get it, but we have been having that dialogue within just our members community about how it gets a little bit strange when even liberals are using it almost derogatorily. So I would caution people against that, but it is notable that you're having this back and forth. I'll show you Benny's response in a second. And just remember, Milo has this long list of all the Republicans that he's accusing of being secretly gay, which would be, I guess, a hypocrisy angle. And then also right-wingers are homophobic in many cases. So that's why Milo sees it as an insult in the first place. But he was just on Tucker saying this.
Are you gay? Were you gay? What is gay?
Nobody's gay.
So he says nobody, but then he's saying everybody. But the only one thing, and then we'll look at the response from Benny Johnson. If you could pull up a photo of Benny Johnson so they can remember, and his wife, is we talked about this when we saw that clip of Milo. He's really arguing that 3 years in a row, Benny's wife was in the same lobby crying that Benny was upstairs with males 3 years in a row. That seems like you added a little bit too much to your lie. I don't care either way. Sounds like you might have made that up. 3 years in a row? What? Why does she do the exact same routine every year? That doesn't make sense to me. But you have Benny's wife, who's, again, Benny's a prominent MAGA influencer, saying he needs prayer and a good attorney. And Milo said, there's nothing on earth I pray for more than going through discovery with your husband. And then you have Milo responding to that, that Milo needs a lawyer, saying, Dear free speech warrior Benny, dear Kate, a few notes for your consideration. I know more about defamation than any lawyer you will hire. Benny is a public figure. Malice is a non-starter. I have receipts, and the truth is a total defense against any claim of defamation or libel. Do you want to lose a defamation case to Milo Yiannopoulos, of all people, about whether or not you are gay? Do you want to even fight one? The people who have poured money into making you a big deal are about to lose their entire investment. Can you sue someone for calling you gay? It's like, and now we go to trial for the bombshell case. Is Benny Johnson gay? We're calling our first witness, Benny Johnson. Benny, are you gay? No. Now we're calling Milo. Is he? Yes. Now we are going to show you his search history. Like, what's the trial? I guess they could say defamation is the lying about affairs. That could be it. But again, even if he were, but then, or like bi or something, and so then now he's with his wife. What are we doing? What's the point? I get the hypocrisy if you're a liberal. Liberals are going, we support people being who they are. You are hateful to people when they are who they are, but then you have some secret that proves you're a hypocrite. So there's more justification, even though people go too far. But like, what is the right doing? I guess because then they would say it's bad, but it's all very strange. Here's in response to the long post from Milo saying, let's do this. You have Benny's wife saying, nothing compares. The hard parts of parenting are easy to explain. The good parts are impossible to explain. If you know, you know. So they both just start posting photos of their family. Which, again, I know Milo's a liar. I don't respect either of these people, but Milo's definitely a liar on many things. I don't know if the best response is just posting a bunch of family photos. Something feels a little forced about that. Saying, I know this is going to trigger some people, but here's my family. We're happy. They're miserable. That's why we win. Who would this trigger? Okay. So that was kind of his response. Then you have her saying more to come per se in response to Benny posting about taking legal action to defend against the defamation. This is just it's so sloppy. Then you have Milo.
If you're gay and you're a Republican, I will out you. I will out you. I will fucking out you. Because it's the right thing to do.
You know what I'm thinking too? This whole childish event that we're witnessing is ridiculous for the reasons I previously mentioned. But also, even from a liberal perspective, I think we need to stop hoping that there's hypocrisy there. If someone is really hateful towards gay people and they're on the right, it doesn't matter if they themselves are hateful because they're dealing with their own lack of comfort with their identity or not. Either way, the hate's the problem we have, the thing that we have a problem with. Right? So I think we need to think about it in those terms too. I don't really care if your hate is coming from just an ideological thing or you're just hateful, or if it's because it's a product of your discomfort with your own truth. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's not acceptable to me for you to be hateful if you're straight, and it's not acceptable to me for you to be hateful if you're struggling with that you might be gay. Either way, being hateful to others is not appropriate equally. And I know the hypocrisy feels like such a zinger though, but it's not actually. And it almost gives justification to people's actions when you go, well, maybe the reason they're all strange is because you're gay. And it puts the onus on the sexuality in a derogatory way as opposed to the actions themselves or the hate themselves or the political advocacy we don't like itself. Then Benny posted, demon possession is real, man. Christians speak out against demons. There's power in that. I don't know who the demon is, but if someone were a demon, it could be Milo. If someone were a demon, it could act like Milo. Maybe that was the demon that scratched Tucker. Then you have some MAGA account on a totally different note, just since we saw those family photos, saying, in a world full of Mark Kellys being he's like a hero, Mark Kelly. Be a Pete Hegseth. You know he has all these kids from like multiple different marriages and cheating and all of that, which we love, that beautiful life has been created. But what do you mean what is this family photo for? That he's betrayed his kids multiple times, being really unloyal to his family? Mark Kelly hasn't, from all I know.